Hello there.
Hi, Dina. How are you going?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm
Happy
just really
Friday.
warm.
Yeah, I
I know.
know.
Happy Friday. It's
Yeah.
so good to knock off, but it is so warm. Are you really warm over there too?
I don't know why. I feel like it's not meant to be warm, but I don't know why. I'm like really flustered.
I know. It's not really working with me, but that's okay. So yeah, if I get a little bit of a tomato face, you know why. What did you get up
It's all
to
right.
today?
Um, it was a pretty easy Friday preparing to
Yeah.
leave, so I'm excited to get on my first flight out of here.
Yeah, that will be so good. And
Yeah.
um, it's perfect timing with the weather and the border opening up to Perth, so you can visit your family. That will be really good. And don't
Yeah.
worry, everyone, we'll still be seeing Dana's face even when she is interstate. Luckily, she can still log on to here.
Yes. Um, yeah, and I guess speaking of flying out, um, today we have two guests, the Lestari guests.
Yes.
We have Mira and Laura joining us today, and they'll be talking to us a little bit about their exchange in Jogja. So I will pull them in now.
I'm so excited. Welcome, Mira and Laura.
Hi.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi.
Oh my gosh, it's a party. Welcome. How are you both?
Good. How are you?
Great.
Yeah, really good. Happy it's Friday.
Yes. Thank you so much for joining us on this lovely warm Friday evening. We're so excited to have you on. For people who don't know, Mira and I are actually siblings, and Mira is my older sister.
Can't they
And
tell? We're similar.
that's it. So twins. And Laura is sort of like an older sister also to all of us because she is Mira's best friend and one of the Lestari girls. But I'll leave introductions to you both. Who wants to go first? Tell us a little bit about yourself for people watching tonight who may not know you yet.
Yeah, go ahead, Laura. You go first.
Cool. So I'm Laura, and as Yana mentioned, I've been part of Lestari for a while. I joined in 2013, I think it was, so about 7 years ago now. I met everyone through Mira. When we were on exchange together, we met each other in Indonesia, and then when we came back to Melbourne together, it was really great to be able to join Lestari with Mira and her sister and everybody else. So have been dancing with Lestari since then. And aside from that, I work in business development for an international development organisation, which is really fun. I get to work on lots of bids and proposals for aid and development projects that the Australian government does overseas, including in Indonesia, which is really exciting. So hopefully one day we'll be able to travel to Indonesia for work. And yeah.
Amazing. Thanks, Laura.
And I'm Mira. I'm sure Yana, you, Dina, Laura, we've all been very good friends and for a long time. So I met Laura. I think Laura mentioned it. We met in Jogja. Oh my God, it was 8 years ago. So we both got scholarships to go study in Jogja, and that's where we first met. So it was really uncanny, and I'm really glad that our paths crossed. And obviously, I've been part of Sanggar Lestari from the very start. I mean, Yana and I are pretty much forced to be members because of bonding, but we really enjoy it. I love dancing and being part of the group, and it's really grown, especially the past year or so. We have so many new members. And yeah, I guess outside of work, I'm in the media and PR space. So I'm a media and communications manager at a fintech firm. So we pretty much do digital payments and all that sort of thing. Very non-Lestari related, but I'm hoping that hopefully, because I'm covering the APAC region, I'll be able to go to Indonesia at some point when travel reopens again. So that's what I'm looking forward to.
Definitely. Sorry, I'm not laughing at your career. I was laughing at Mama Ning featuring in the comments.
I'm like, hi, Mom. Why is she saying Why is she saying that?
I think it could be to do with you saying that you were forced to
Oh,
dance.
not forced. That's probably the wrong word. Encouraged. Strongly encouraged.
Strongly encouraged. That's a better way to put it. Yeah, you summed it up really well. You know, you're both really worldly people, and you have, you know, really great connections to not just Indonesia, but I feel to so many different areas and different sectors. You know, you're both great, and I hope that everybody tonight gets to know how great you are. So it's not just Dina and myself cheering you on, but we are your biggest fans.
Don't forget, if
Sorry,
you're
everyone.
watching the live now, to write in the live chat so we can all have a little conversation together and ask Mira and Laura any questions that you might have. Mama Ning's loving it at the moment.
Mama Ning's having a little solo party over there. I love it. But I guess, you know, one of the takeaways from you both going on exchange is that that's actually where you met. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness.
8
So
years ago.
it just seems really uncanny because you're both such a big part of Lestari, and you met on an exchange, both interested in something that you're both passionate about. You know, it's like your paths were going to cross sooner or later, I feel.
Yeah, absolutely. We were actually we were studying at the same university at the time as well. So we were both at Melbourne Uni, and Mira was, I think you were in 3rd year and I was in 2nd year. But yeah, well, it took an exchange for us to cross paths, but it was definitely meant to be because
We have very similar interests, that's for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, you finish each other's sentences and the whole lot, you know.
Yeah,
How does
I think we're both very Javanese in that sense.
Yeah. How does the exchange actually work? Is it through uni? So did you both go through university, or were there different paths that you took?
Do you want to take that, Laura? Or?
Yeah. So the program that we went on is called ACICIS, which is the Australian Consortium for In-Country Indonesian Studies. And I think it is one of the only exchange programs that that you can do from an Australian university that will take you to Indonesia, unless you want to apply as like an individual through no other institution. It is like ACICIS is probably the main one that gets Australian and now international students from all over the world to Indonesia. And yeah, you can apply either through your education institution, they'll help you, usually through a global mobility program. Otherwise, you can just apply by yourself through ACICIS. But it is definitely the best way to get on an exchange program for a whole range of universities in Indonesia. I think the most popular one is still UGM, which is in Jogja. But people can apply for universities, I think, in Malang, Bandung. So there is a range of options that you have. So I think the program has expanded since we were there, because we were there
so
a while ago. I know.
Yeah.
It was a while ago, but they have expanded. Like they've got new internships, new opportunities. So it's a really great program.
Yeah. How long does the program go for? Is it like a full year program, or is it just a couple of months?
I think there are a couple you can choose. We chose just the half year. We felt that was enough. It's challenging. It's a good experience, but definitely comes with its challenges. We just learned a lot. It was very immersive, and for anyone who's traveled overseas and decided to live over there, the challenges, language barriers, awkward moments, that sort of thing. So we learned a lot, and I think it's the best way to learn a language, on the street, because you just don't learn it in the textbooks, like not the way that people speak anyway.
Yeah, for sure. That's the best way. We have a question here from David Gill, who's asking, how long were you on exchange there? So you just said it was 6 months.
Yeah, I think
It's not
in
so bad.
total we were there for like 7 months because I think we just went traveling afterwards, which was nice. But
And their I think their semesters are a little bit longer than ours in Indonesia as well. We started a little bit late. We were in a semester 2 cohort, so I think everyone arrived in about the August, but I don't think we started until the September. And then we had like I think exams in December and January as well. Like it, yeah,
Whoa.
it's a really long.
Yeah, and it looks like, you know, not only did you pick up the language there, but you also picked up a bit, you know, a lot of the culture, including the batik that you're wearing. I can see Serena in the comments there is very keen to have a look at the batik patterns you're wearing.
it's kind of hard to show, but there you go.
Did you get these this top in Jogja as well?
I think this is from Mama Ning. I think she got it from Pasar. Is it Bringharjo? You know the one?
Bringharjo.
Yeah, the main one.
Malioboro,
Iconic one. Yeah.
Yes.
And it's good because by the time we finished exchange, we were really good at bargaining. I think as soon as you look like you're bule or you're not from there, they can easily charge you the standard price, 150,000 rupiahs. So you just have to learn to speak a bit of Javanese as well, and then they tend to, you know, lower the price. So
yeah. You have to learn to bargain there, or you'll just everywhere in Indonesia, I feel like if you don't know how to bargain, you're just going to get ripped off.
That's it. You get the stock standard 150,000. It doesn't matter what the item is. It's like 150 saja. Oh my goodness.
What other things did you learn in your exchange? Was it language, dancing? What other things did you learn there?
It was definitely like, even though we were there to complete a semester of uni, like that I think was the main purpose of being there, it was essentially like a whole immersive experience. So we did have the option of staying in like a homestay or a kosan, which I guess is like the equivalent of like a boarding, like, or a share house almost, boarding house. And I think that's probably where the real immersive learning took place, because, you know, you could live with other people who were attending the uni. It was a really great way to socialize, like out in the common room. And it was where you made friends, and that was probably the main learning experience. Yeah,
definitely, I agree. And I think for everyone who's been to Jogja, you know that the accent's very different to the rest of Indonesia. So even just understanding the Javanese Indonesian or the mix of Javanese mixed with Indonesian, it's like a whole new experience. And I'll always remember when we first went to Dunkin' Donuts and Laura tried to order a drink, and it was just such an eye-opening experience because she was so sure that she was just saying the right thing. That's what we learnt in class at Melbourne Uni. And then when we were over there, it was just the most awkward, like long-winded formal sentence. It sounded like you were in a business meeting and they just laughed at us. So I can't even remember what you said. I think you said something like, "Bolehkah saya memiliki salah satu gelas whatever." I'm like,
I used to miliki.
I may have possessed a glass of water or something. I don't even know what it said if you translate it, but
I couldn't. Yeah.
So it's so good. By the end of it, you learned a lot of slang, and you were really like quite fluent. And I remember when Yana and my mom came to visit us, we were just completely different people. We were like so localized. We were wearing our Noah tops, like our fangirl tops. We were like we had jackets on, and it was quite warm. Like we were just really localized. And I think Yana, you would have seen the difference. And even the way we spoke Indo, it was very almost localized.
I feel like the whole Noah thing, just as Dina was about to say, that can't just go unnoticed. We have some something we've prepared a little earlier.
Oh God!
Let's get this happening.
Yeah,
this is
ready for
the
oh my! That I don't know.
That's the first time we had a cream bath. It was exciting.
Oh
nice. The blowout, I love it. The curl.
It's always the hectic curls in the little Indo mall, isn't it?
It
is. So like, what? I'm just wondering, what's going on in that photo? Is that your typical day after uni?
Right?
Yeah, going to get a cream bath, rocking a Noah top.
It was really embarrassing. Like, we were such fangirls that we actually liked wearing Noah tops on a daily, it was just a normal thing to do. Walk around the mall and get just get our groceries or whatever. And we actually went to a Noah concert, I think twice or 3
We
times
did go
when we were in
twice.
Jogja.
Yeah.
Oh my God. We got like front row tickets and we got into the VIP section, and that's us. Yep. We've got our we had handmade Noah shirts that we made, and we put little like Indonesia and Australia flags. We love that.
Oh wow. Even at a concert, you guys are still thinking about the bilateral relationship. If that is
cool.
if that doesn't show dedication, I'm not sure what does. And did you get to meet Ariel?
Well, I feel like we would just say that we did. Like, we kept shouting at him from the front row, and he did look at us. And no, I mean, Laura, you said take your top off, and he did. And so we said that interaction. He pretty much knew us from afar. So.
Right. So but that's so interesting, because I feel like you must have been, obviously Noah's a great band, but you must have been sort of into that because everybody around you would have been so into that at the time, and you'd sort of just follow on with the cultural cues and the pop culture of what's popular at the time.
Yeah, it was really good.
Noah, he is amazing. I mean, like, the band is amazing. They used to be called Peter Pan, and the music's really good. And I think it really helped us learn the language as well while we were in Jogja. Just like singing along and just And when you hear it in the malls and stuff, or in the taxis, you kind of it just reminds you of like, okay, we're here, just really immersed. So. Sorry, Laura.
No. I just remembered actually. We had I guess part of the exchange at the end of the exchange program, we had like a little like awards ceremony night. And everyone got like a certificate, and we all had like something on our certificate that sort of signified our time in Indo. And I was Miss Kepo for like I guess. just being slightly obsessed with Noah, which I was.
So good. It became a personality trait for you both.
Yeah, it was a bit creepy.
Yeah.
I guess the real question is, do you still love Noah as much as you did back then?
I think because it's such a nostalgic thing now, and just hearing Noah just takes you right back. I think, they'll always, like, the band will always have a place, I think, in both of our hearts. But I think, when I listen to it now, I won't start fangirling. It's ridiculous. But yeah, it's such a nice, warm feeling whenever I hear a song by Noah. Or I have one of their older albums as well. Peter Pan, I think, was their original name. So
yeah, I think a lot of people can definitely relate. I feel Dina and I personally have had many a night staying up late and singing Peter Pan virtually during lockdown. So
Peter Pan. Actually, I don't really know much about Noah, but when you say Peter Pan, then all of the memories like come flashing back.
Yes.
But yeah,
it's funny
I can see where you're coming from, because Peter Pan, I would fangirl over Peter Pan.
For sure.
I can see how you sent me photos from Sumatra as well. Was this part of the program as well, the exchange program?
So it was actually separate. So we just met some students in UGM, which is Universitas Gajah Mada in Jogja, which is where we were studying. And they were a volunteer group, and they were like, "Hey, if you guys want to come, we'll come volunteer at." I don't even remember the name of the island. I'm not sure if you do, Laura, but it was a very remote island off South Sumatra near.
Lampung Selatan, I think it was. I think just an island off Lampung Selatan. Yeah.
Yes. We just went there and volunteered. I think we were teaching English and just environmental awareness, like just so they know how to recycle, just little things like that. It was a bit of a challenge to do it in Indonesian, but it was really nice to meet all the kids in the village, and like we went swimming with them, and we stayed there for a couple of days, just in the middle of the village, no electricity, very uncomfortable, but it was a great experience.
It was really fun.
Yeah.
Super cute.
Oh, that's such a nice photo.
remember the heat there. It was insane.
Yeah.
And it was very traditional. Like we had, whenever you want to shower, you just kind of use a bucket in the well. And I remember
Yeah.
the shower was like right next to the kitchen. So I remember like there was a tiny wall, we were taller than the wall. So we were just like trying to like crash down the shower while the like so
Yeah.
it was really quite the experience.
It was really fun.
Oh my gosh, that's part of it, isn't it? The whole travel experience, the hard times, as well as the you know, the bargaining and the traveling and the getting sunburnt, the whole thing. And you actually have a question here from the one and only Mr. Ben Heng that I can spot in the comments in regards to bargaining. What's the secret to a good bargain in Indo? Who wants to answer this one?
Probably definitely Javanese that like already reduced the rate immediately. Definitely. We both learnt Javanese. One of the subjects that we took together at UGM was Javanese. It was, I don't want to say unfortunately, but it was the higher level Javanese that we learnt. So it was not the greatest to whip out in a market. But
Do you still remember how to bargain in Javanese?
All you have to say is Bintan, really.
Bintan.
To be honest, the numbers are a little bit exactly. You start to get the numbers. It's so long.
But yeah, I know so much. Unfortunately, I've lost so much of my Javanese. But sorry, Dina, you go.
Oh no, I was just gonna say. I think
Oh, watch out, guys! Frank's coming through with the Javanese.
I think the way they would say is Piro. Oh, there we go, Habibi. Piro mas.
Habibi, Nyong Ambon. That's the way. We've got to take some notes. We should make a little word bank of some phrases that were successful for you both when bargaining. And I think one of my memories when I went to go and visit you finally at the end of your exchange, my voice just shook after 6 months. I'm okay. You're back in Australia now. When I went to visit you finally, after 6 months, I was so proud because I was really excited to go and buy some batik snapbacks because it was 2011 and I thought that would be a look on me. No hate against snapbacks. If you wear them, awesome, but not my thing. I don't look cool, unfortunately. So I went to go and buy a batik snapback and I ran back so excited and I was like, Mom, look, I tawar menawar, like I bargained and I got this for only 100,000. And Mom was like, oh, that's good. Because the 100,000 is $10, which in Jogja is way too expensive. And then Mira comes back with, I kid you not, 10 batik snapbacks. She's like, look what I got for Ole Ole for souvenirs. I was like, oh, yeah, I got one for 100,000. How much did you get? She's like, I got 10 for 100,000. Just from using those few pointers, like we saw with Pat Frank and her baby, just those few little pointers of Javanese. Oh my goodness.
This is probably Frank's favorite line when he goes to buy cigarettes. Kulo bade tumbasta sampurno. Cigarettes. If anybody's looking to buy cigarettes in Java.
Funny.
Noted. It sounds so nice. I didn't realize it was sampurno.
Yeah.
With Javanese accent. That's amazing.
Yeah.
And I guess
I think you just change all the A's to O's and you'll find.
That's it. That's what I need to do next time I go there.
Confusing sometimes.
Sorry?
Javanese. I still sometimes write the A at the back, but you pronounce it as an O, so that's what got confusing.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And I commend you both for immersing yourself in that culture and learning the Javanese so that you wouldn't get ripped off, because I went in there feeling pretty confident and was shut down very quickly. On the Mama Ning's got musprang happening over there. Mongo, musprang. And Mongo is silakan, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like the Javanese culture is such a, you know, a polite and lovely culture. It's sort of, you know, the mannerisms and everything of Javanese remind me of sort of like a royal, more old school, old fashioned, really traditional way of life. On that note, what were there sort of any awkward moments or misunderstandings and cultural misunderstandings that you'd both like to share from either your ACICIS trip or from any other time that you've been traveling through Java?
So many. I mean, I think the drink example was my favorite. That was like, I think within the first week going to Dunkin' Donuts, and I think it might have been a bit traumatizing for you, Laura, because everyone was just laughing at the cashier. I did feel a bit bad, but I think it was a really good learning for you. So, I don't know. What other awkward moments did we have?
You probably suppress them, which is fair because it's like, you know, I've done like that accidental left hand or, you know, caressing past someone's head.
Actually, I remember in the Japanese class, I don't know why, but the Japanese lecturer always picked on Laura. Like, we were just in class, just having conversations, and he'd be like, Laura, and ask her a question in Japanese. And he'd always ask her, like, how are you? Like, "Gados pundi pawartasi pun Laura." And then Laura would just be like, I don't know why, when she's nervous, Laura, your voice just drops dramatically. And so every time someone asks you, how are you, you just say, so, like, really.
I think that does come with like Javanese though, like they're very like the Madoc, it makes you like speak a little bit deeper somehow. Yeah,
absolutely.
She was mastering it. She was just mastering the tone.
I think it's like Jogja was the first like proper place that, like, I guess I'd spent, like, in Indonesia, had like spent time immersing myself. Like, I'd never really spent any time in Jakarta, and the time that I'd been in Bali beforehand was very much like a Australian tourist experience in a hotel. So that was not an experience really.
No.
In terms of like proper language immersion. So because I was learning so much new vocab every day, I think, I just kind of really took on that kind of Jogja Javanese, accent. But probably a little bit too much in Javanese class because I do get a little bit nervous. So
fair enough.
It was intimidating, definitely.
Yeah, it's a whole adjustment.
Yeah.
We have a question from Frank.
Papring.
Who's asking, is it coming up? Coming from a more busy pace in Melbourne, how did you guys find transitioning into the Javanese pace of life?
It was
Sorry, Laura, you can go.
I don't know that. It was definitely an adjustment period, and I think it was most felt in terms of classes. So running to get to class on time, and the lecturer or everyone is like 15, 20, 30 minutes late, and people just breeze in, and like that kind of pace was a little bit hard.
I mean,
I
think, Dina, you went to Indo, like you went to school in Indo as well, and there's sometimes it's called kelas kosong, and it's just literally the classes are not anymore, and the lecturer just doesn't turn up, and of course no one tells the bullet students, so we just rock up like puffing and puffing, like thinking we're late. And I think
oh my goodness,
to Frank's question, that was really hard for us, just kind of Laura, we're very kind of like, we like a structure, we like to have a plan. We're not really good with, jam karet. So I think you just have to be very santai, and that's just the vibe in Indonesia in general. You just go with the flow, and it's a very hard skill. It's almost a skill. I think you need to move to Indonesia. It's just to learn how to be santai. But it's rewiring your habits, I guess. Just go with the flow. And
did you end up embracing that?
Pardon?
Did you end up embracing that Sunday life, or were you constantly stressed for 6 months?
A lot of the time, but I think by the end of it, we just gave up. It was just too much. I think it's not sustainable to be stressed all the time.
You can't be stressing too much. You can't. Your brain would explode.
But what about coming back to Melbourne after learning to become Santai? Was it hard to then go back to schedule?
Ooh, I felt like I was celebrating. I was like, yes, there's like a timetable, there's structure, there's like order. Like I think even just in Indo, you just kind of go with the flow and stuff. And even crossing the road coming back, we had trouble. We just kind of cross the road, put a hand out, kind of thing. We get honked because
Yeah.
here that's so bad. You can't just cross the road without, especially if there are cars there. Or in Indo, you just have to put your hand out and just trust it's going to go. I think it's just readjusting. There's definitely that reverse culture shock, I feel, coming back to what we experienced.
100% agree. I was really surprised. Like, I think my family was surprised as well when I got back home at how like I would just particularly if we were like walking in the city, like I would feel very confident to just cross the road. That was something that I picked up.
I think that even when I came to visit you both and we flew from Jogja to Jakarta, we arrived and went to a mall straight away because it's Jakarta, and you were both like, oh, it's so crowded here, and it wasn't even one of the main malls. You were so like, oh, in Jogja it's not this crowded, it's too crowded here, let's go home. And I was like, what? So it was so funny because I think you were so deeply transitioned into it being nice, like nice and sleepy in Jogja, aside from uni and all the important things that you're doing. I mean, in terms of the roads being probably a bit quieter, aside from plus the malls probably being not really malls. And it was so interesting because even after 6 months, I saw that there was a clear shift, and you were just, as soon as we got to the mall, you were counting down to when we could go home and have a cup of tea.
It was cold in there. Like the aircon is so cold.
It was.
I do also remember when I think it was more with Mira when Mira came back from Jogja to Melbourne, and I feel like every time we went somewhere, she would convert everything we bought into rupiah, and everything was just not worth buying anymore.
At the campus, we'd have lunch, and a meal would cost like 90 cents. You have like nasi, you have like tempeh, you have chicken, and you saw me like bargaining the market. If something, I'd bargain over like 50 cents. And so coming back here and getting a coffee that was like $5, it was just really hard, like really hard to adjust. Just not used to it.
Have a little comment from Mama Ning. Mbak Laura and Mbak Mira, apakah suka makan gudeg?
Great question, Mama Ning.
Yes, it was. I ended up really enjoying it. When I first tried gudeg, like a lot of other food in Jogja, it was so sweet, and just learning to sort of adjust to the sweetness. But then by the end, you get used to it, and really, really enjoy it. And again, it has that like nostalgia taste. Tasting gudeg is like, oh, going back to Jogja.
I think food and drink, it really, there's a huge difference. Like when you first go to Jogja, you know, like even if you order a hot chocolate, they'll give you sugar on the side, or like sometimes you'd order a smoothie and they'd put like cheese on top, like just random things that you just like don't expect. And then just coming back and readjusting to not having so sweet. I think that was something that we had to readjust to.
I feel like there's a story in this one.
Oh my god, that was really bad.
What's the story behind it?
When I first arrived in Jogja, I think I was messaging Laura at that point because we hadn't met in person, but it was such a drama because if anyone has been to Indo, you know that sometimes they'll change the gate without telling you. Like it's just a thing they do. And of course, you know, there's no announcement. You just have to keep like looking around and seeing if people have moved to another gate sometimes. And I was like obviously very nervous. I just arrived in Jogja. I wasn't really prepared or whatever. And so they changed the gate and I realized, oh, my boarding time is now. That's weird. No one's at my gate. So then I freaked out. And then I started running around trying to find the gate. And then I eventually found it, but the plane was already like all ready to go. They'd already, you know how they move the staircase like away from the plane when it's pretty much ready to like take off. So they'd done that, but they felt really sorry for me. And I'm like, oh, like in broken Indo, like, saya dari Australia, blah, blah, blah. I'm really nervous. And so they felt sorry for me and they popped me on the back of one of those like luggage carriers, you know, those ones that they can drive around to like get to different planes. And so I was like on that, and they just like sped through the airport to the airplane. They put the stairs back up, and then I like did the walk of shame up into the plane, and everyone was just like staring at me like, I'm sorry, but like only in Indo would that happen, right? Like in Australia, they just empathy there. It's like, you know, you've missed it, whatever. But I think in Indo they're a bit more santai, and they're willing to hold up the whole plane just to let you on. So
Yeah,
that was an interesting first experience arriving in Jogja.
I love that.
Sure.
And it's a good way to make friends. I feel like Indonesian people are so friendly, and very interested, particularly if you're over there to learn about their culture and things like that. They'll be very excited and want to talk to you and let you practice your Indonesian with them.
Yeah, that was like one of the best things was everyone who you spoke to, they were so so happy for you to speak Indonesian and like really encouraging as well. Like it was really nice not to feel like too shy, like if you're like a little bit nervous and so you're sort of hesitant, but they really just encouraged you, and yeah, it was really lovely speaking to so many different people, particularly in class as well. It was really lovely.
That's genuine curiosity, I think. They're like, why did you come to Jogja? Like, what's the appeal to them? They don't really understand it. But I guess something different. So
Yeah, and I feel like it's you've made lifelong friends not only with each other but with the whole cohort of people who would have been on the same scholarship as you. And hopefully some of them are watching tonight. I can see some people in the comments. Dina brought up before. There's somebody watching all the way from Western Sumatra, and we also have some local Lestari people in the comments. I can see Kat Nadia in the comments here. In regards to why people are friendlier in Indonesia. I think she might be onto something there.
I think that's a legitimate theory.
They're in a good mood.
Yeah. And also and just like a lot more relaxed as well. Like I think that Suntai vibe also kind of could be something cultural as well. Yeah, just really relaxed, really friendly. Yeah.
I feel like even now, I feel it's slightly warmer at the moment, and I'm already like I need to like have a lay down and rest. Like,
eat a bit, eat, sleep,
have a little nap.
That's it. It's definitely a cultural thing.
You've got an interesting question here from Ben.
Oh,
if you could design a utopia with any characteristics, no limitations, from only Indonesia and Australia, what would it look like?
Wow.
Gosh, he ate up that question. Goodness me. Left no crumbs. That's a big question.
The essay question for a scholarship. So let me just think.
Oh my gosh.
Best of both
worlds.
I think, well, for me, I think Indonesia is such a great country. Obviously, I love the culture, the art, everything's so rich. But if they could just have Australia's welfare system, that'd be like my ideal. I would just live there in a heartbeat. I would move over. So you just want that support, I guess. I think that's probably the main thing for me.
Probably that, and like just a few less class cost songs. I think would be really nice. I think there just needs to be a happy medium of like, I think with Indonesia sometimes almost that too relaxed vibe gets people who are not as relaxed very stressed. So if you could have just like a little bit, somewhere between Australia's sort of more
spectrum of like crazy go to
Sunday. Just somewhere down the center. I think you could somehow achieve that.
With your classes that you went to on exchange, was it only with international students or was it with Indonesians as well? Because you're saying that there's a class kosong, but did all of the other international students not know about this, or was it?
Yeah, pretty much. So we took such a wide variety of subjects, and we met students from like Japan and the US. Where else?
Germany
as well. Yeah. We were able to take like local classes, so classes that were in Indonesian and had local students in there, and then we also had the language classes that were like intensive just for foreigners. So we did a bit of both. Like for instance, I did Javanese with Laura. I also did gamelan, which is like the orchestra. I did like cooking class as well, and I did like language, Javanese. I think I said that before. I did history and communications, and I think Laura, I forgot what other subjects that you did that I wasn't in. It was like a punch up.
Yeah, I did the Pendidikan Pancasila. I just took like a first year class, which it was actually quite hard. Like I took it more as like a kind of like a cultural immersion class, just like really kind of wanting to understand a little bit more about Pancasila, and also I thought a great way to make friends. But yeah, it was hard, and they spoke a lot of Javanese in the class. But it was okay. Yeah, made quite a few really good friends in that class. And yeah, Javanese as well. And I also did a class on politics. I think it was, yeah, like a politics and power subject in their politics faculty there, which was really interesting. There were two other international students in that class as well, which was good. So yeah, it was really fun.
That's great.
Mm.
Yeah, and you know, obviously being part of Sanggar Lestari, you're both incredible Indonesian dancers. What Indonesian dances did you learn when you were over in Jogja? I think you sent through a photo or two before, but maybe you can tell us a little bit more about those dances that you learned.
Sure. Laura, do you want to take that one? Or?
Yes. So we did. I think we learnt two dances. We took a dance class in Tari Saman. I can't remember what night of the week it was. But we would meet a group of we met like a group of girls on campus once a week for a couple of months, and we were learning Tari Saman, and we got to go visit one of the performances that the girls did. We didn't perform that day, but it was really great to see them and then also be part of their practice. It was really good. And then we also did do a Tari Merak, which is a peacock dance. And it was really nice. We did that for our graduation. So Mira and I and...
So there's you, me, and where are we? I think those were also the Japanese students. They were in their kimonos. It was really nice. I don't think they did a performance, so I think they were just dressed like that for the ceremony. So this was like once we graduated at the end of the year. So it was really nice.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, you look so great, so traditional.
Yeah, this is the Javanese Merak. I think there's also Merak from Sunda, like from Bandung, but this was specific Javanese. And I remember we were practicing at a friend's house as well. It was so hot, and having to put all that on in the Jogja weather was pretty intense, but it was amazing. Such a good experience.
Yeah,
it was really fun. Yeah.
I think we also took a couple of random dances. I don't remember the names.
I love this photo. What is happening here?
Window of sex, really.
Yeah.
I think this is for one of the Buddha Day festivals in Melbourne. I think it might have been
good one.
Yeah, it was one of the early ones because we did a Betawi dance, I think. And I think this was the one where we danced with when Alison was dancing with us. It must have been 2016, I don't know, 2017 maybe.
It looks like we're wearing
yeah, it was. Oh, we are? Okay, maybe we are. I don't know.
I feel like we've danced at that multicultural festival a few times, but something that's been really good from that is that we have been really lucky to be in the media, and I know you're both quite involved. You have been involved in the media in your studies as well as through work. But I know Laura and Mira, you've both had opportunities to be interviewed by the media after performances. What is going on here? Who is this? What is happening? You look like an absolute celebrity, Laura. Tell us a little bit about it.
Oh my gosh. I can't remember if it was it was, is it
I think it's a Buddha festival.
ICTV? I think I can see on the little yeah, they were visiting I think Melbourne as part to come and see the Buddha festival. And yeah, they interviewed, which was really nice. I think they interviewed a couple of other dancers as well, and I distinctly remember them asking like, what was your favorite food? And I just remember thinking like in a panic state, just listing maybe like 10 different types of food because I was so nervous. But yeah, they were really lovely.
I think that's when we were interviewed as well for the diplomat. Was that the same day or was that different? Maybe yeah.
Yeah, so when we were interviewed for The Diplomat, the person who interviewed us, yeah, he was there on the day. And then, yeah, we did the podcast for The Diplomat a few months later, I think.
Oh yeah, it was months later. I keep getting confused.
Mm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we've been really lucky.
Wow. Yeah, I feel like you both, you're both very passionate, and it's often the two of you that we'll see in magazines or in photos and video interviews. So you can actually see some of those through the Sanggar Lestari website. We have a little media section, and you can check out some of the things that Laura and Mira have been involved in, as well as our blog posts, which have a lot of Laura and Mira's faces from all the things that they've been involved in, from dance performances to our virtual events. So you guys have done heaps as part of Sanggar Lestari, and also as representing yourself. We're really, really grateful for that.
Thank you. I mean,
another
we're
picture here.
really grateful to have the opportunity.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was our first Christmas in Jogja. It was such a unique experience. Definitely something different, and I'm sure you guys have experienced having Christmas away from home. It's just a different environment, different atmosphere. There's not really that same vibe, but we made the most of it. I think that was at a karaoke night that we had after we had quite a few eggnog drinks, Javanese style. Did not taste like eggnog. I don't know. It tasted more like Java, to be honest. I don't know what was in it. Hi guys.
Hello, Copy to Brook team. Aniana. How about Dina? Does Dina not get a hello? That's rude. Maybe you were the second Laura, Dina. Maybe it was implied. Thanks for joining us to talk to the lovely Laura and Mira tonight. And I guess on the topic of Christmas in Jogja, that is thank you. That can be really challenging for anybody who's traveling to be away, and especially during times like Christmas. Were there any other sort of major challenges that you faced while you were in Jogja?
Major challenges.
I think it was mainly the jump karet for us, like the suntiness. That was for me anyway. The classical songs were very hard to kind of just accept, I guess. I think just the heat. Even. I think Laura mentioned this actually. We'd be coming into class all sweaty, red in the face, whereas all the kind of local girls all just look so nice and pretty and like completely fine, not even fazed by the heat, wearing like long sleeves, and I don't know, just adjusting to the heat. I think was really hard.
Adjusting to the heat, and actually also one of the challenges was when we started uni. Like you had to dress, I guess, a little bit more formally than you would at a university in Melbourne.
Course.
And they did require like a collared top and like long sleeves and everything. So I remember going with Mira to a mall because I needed to get some like appropriate tops before class started. I had bought with me like t-shirts with collars, but I needed a long sleeve with a collar. And I remember like just not being able to fit into any of the clothes. Just they just were not. It was just the size was really bad. Yeah, and I ended up picking up a couple of guys' shirts, just because they were sort of a little bit broader and like the length as well. I kind of really struggled with length of clothes in Indonesia, because it covered more, and the tops were often too short lengthwise. And I distinctly remember one day walking in campus, and I passed a guy wearing exactly the same shirt as me. It was just a standard shirt from a very generic brand, and so it was probably a common t-shirt. It was just like a checkered blue shirt. And he looked back at me like,
oh no,
I don't know anything that fits. So
definitely a struggle.
and just even in class, you know, we weren't allowed to drink water when the lecturer was talking. You know, like they were very long lectures. I had a couple of 3-hour classes. It was a very,
Wow.
it was challenging at first, but you got used to it, I guess, like everything else. You adjust, which was fine. But
I think it's also that adds to the heat because you're already so hot, and we want to kind of keep cool, but you have to wear the collared shirt and the jeans, the long clothes footing as well. So
wow, is that like a out of respect type thing?
I think so. Yeah, I think it was a respect thing. I think I guess like hierarchy was probably a little bit sort of important at the university. And I did notice as well that a number of my lecturers in the classes that I took in the immersion classes, so not with the international students, but the immersion classes, like the lecturers were like, I guess, significantly older, and there was a level of like respect that students would give to an elder. Like it was very different. I guess from our experience. Where like, you know, you sort of sit in a round circle and everyone, you know, you have like a conversation like back and forth, and it's interactive and it's supposed to be sort of one level, whereas in Indonesia, you know, you sit there and you listen to the lecturer and you take notes
you don't question what they're saying. Definitely not.
Wow.
So it was very much like a different experience. Interesting.
That's so interesting. It is, yeah.
We have another question here from Frank, which is, what is your favorite warung in Jogja?
Oh, good question, Frankie.
Oh, gosh.
We ate at warungs every day, didn't we? It was just so cheap. So Laura and I,
you'd be silly not to.
Yeah, we lived right off Jakal, which is like Jalan Kaliurang, which is like this main road that's really popular in Jogja. And there's just so many good warungs around there. And we used to always meet at one called, I think it's called Dua Putri. I can't remember if that's the right name, but yeah, amazing food, like ayam penyet with like a lot of chili.
You had me at ayam penyet.
And tempe goreng and like chapchai. It was just like and Rempah Asia was really good as well, I think.
Rempah Asia was really good. Yeah, just like fresh juice and it was so good. And there was a really there was another one. SS Sambal was really good. I don't know if you remember that one, but that was like it was a chain of warungs actually. But it was the red rice and the kangkung was really good. So
can't go past kangkung.
Yum! Oh my goodness. We were having this conversation with Frank last week. It's so hard to pick a favorite Indo food. You know, it's once you start listing one, you start to just go down a whole wormhole of Indonesian cuisine, and you had 6 whole months.
I know.
To try so many different foods. I'm so lucky.
Yeah, it was so much fun.
But it was worth it. You know?
Yeah, so did you get sick a lot, or was it okay?
Just at the start, it was okay. It got better, but just the start. I think the first 2 or 3 weeks, when I started venturing out and eating food, like from warungs on the street, there were a couple of days where it didn't really sit right. But then again, my stomach eventually adapted, and then by the end of it, when my parents came to visit me towards the end, they were just like, oh my gosh, when I would just like, you know, walk up to like a person on the side of the road and order like the mee in a little like plastic bag, and you get like a little
and you get your drink Australia, they're like, it's hygienic.
And my parents were just like floored. They were like, what? Your
whole family came. I remember that.
And which was nice, but they were and they were very shocked that I was in jeans as well. I think that was another the heat. It's good.
Yeah, it's been really good. You you know, you've both adapted a lot, and you've actually had the opportunity to not only perform in Jogja, but you've both performed in other areas of Indonesia and been part of other tours in Indonesia. Laura, could you tell us about the other places where you've performed or learned how to dance in Indonesia?
Yes, so I think it was 2017 2017 or 2018, I can't remember now. And wonderful Indonesia invited Lestari, Sanggar Lestari, for like a week of like cultural immersion in Indonesia, and we traveled to Jogja and Jakarta, and we went to a Sanggar in Jakarta. I think it was called Sanggar Rati. I can't remember the full name, but we learnt. They showed us some of the dances that they perform, and it was really good. Like some of the girls who were part of the Sanggar, they looked really young, but they really knew how to dance, and they taught us. I can't remember it was a Betawi dance. I can't remember what it was called, but yeah.
It wasn't.
Yeah.
I
I think it might have been Lenggang.
Lenggang,
Yeah.
And they taught us that, and it was really fun. And I do remember thinking, oh my gosh, it's so hot here, because like they did it outside, and they had like the fan at the top of the room, and that was it. And
just
then
swirling hot air.
Yeah.
And I unfortunately was standing directly underneath the fan, and the roof was low, and I think part of the dance, your hand sort of goes over your head, and it went really close to the fan. But it was, that was really fun. I really, really enjoyed that day. So yeah, hopefully one day we can visit that Sanggar again. It was really good.
Yeah, that's great. How about you, Mira? Where have your opportunities been for performing and learning Indonesian dance?
Yeah, I've been so lucky. I mean, along with Laura, I think that was really a highlight, going to Jogja and going to Jakarta as well to learn dances. But I think a highlight for me was definitely Papua New Guinea, when I got a chance to go there with one of our other dancers called Daniela. Both of us went to G for, it was only I think about 3 or 4 days, to perform at the Indonesian consulate there. So that was a really good experience, because it felt like Indonesia, but not really. It's kind of a mix of Indonesia and Vanuatu. The atmosphere was very different, and it was a different culture as well. But yeah, I think that was probably one of my favorite or most memorable. But otherwise, I really liked Palu. I remember Laura and we danced in Palu as well, and that was so nice. And the Indonesia English school there as well. Yeah, and it's just such a beautiful place. And it was, before the terrible earthquake and everything, and it was just such a different place then. And that was
wow. That's beautiful. That's in our exchange in Jogja.
So that's when we did.
Oh my goodness.
We were learning a Javanese dance. I remember the name of it. It was very like something you'd perform in a palace. I can't remember what it was called.
Yes, we were really. That was with with Bu Kinanti Sekar, and she's incredible. For those who are following Javanese dance, you definitely need to check out her work. She's amazing, and I think that a lot of people agree that you both are incredible and incredibly talented too. We can see that there's a comment here from Nutrisa, who is all the way in Sulawesi, Nutri, who is saying that you are really talented. That's really kind. So thanks for those kind comments. And oh wow, that is that hot day learning that Ilenggang Nai.
The girls were just so elegant.
Yeah, the fingers.
Yeah, really talented, very confident. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Where's your next travel destination? If you could perform anywhere with Sanggar Lestari, where would it be for you?
I'd love to go further east, to be honest. I'd love to perform maybe in Ambon or Haruku, our home island. Or I really want to go to NTT. I think the dances are so amazing, just so underrepresented in Indonesian dance performances. So definitely want to go east. What about you, Laura?
So good. I know that Jana, you've performed at the Makassar Writers Festival, and I would love one year to go to the Makassar Writers Festival myself. And it would be so much fun to perform there, because I've never been to Makassar, and it's one of the cities I've always wanted to go to. So yeah, I'd love to perform a dance there.
I think you'd really like that. I've been saying that Dina and I have been reminiscing, even though Dina wasn't there, Dina has also been reminiscing about how incredible that festival is.
I reminisce over the photos and videos.
Yeah, no, really though, it's I feel such a connection to to Makassar as Mama Ning's birthplace. And I think that, Laura, you would love it. It's a bit of literature plus cultural immersion, just put it all
History.
together.
Oh my God.
Dina and friends will be there talking to all the creatives. Mira will be, connecting and being passionate about Indonesia. We just need to go again. It's honestly,
I would love to go.
It's so incredible.
So
yes. Yes, so many good food and drink to enjoy.
Speaking of drink,
set you up for that one, Lydia.
I know you both love your coffee. Where is your favorite cafe in Indo?
Ooh.
Indonesia in general, not just Jogja.
Yeah, everywhere.
In Indo, I actually didn't drink a lot of coffee. It's crazy. Now it's like an everyday must. But in Indo, it's just not the same sometimes. And if you don't like coffee tubruk, which is just like a very kind of black thing, we just survive without it. But it sounds weird, but I actually really enjoyed going to Starbucks. Oh, coming from Melbourne, it's so hard to say that, but it's just kind of this like, I don't know, safe haven in Jogja when you just need a little bit of a Western taste. You just need a little bit of aircon. You just go to Starbucks. It's kind of like
need a bit of Wi-Fi.
You just understand that free Wi-Fi, it just means a lot, and just a comfortable place to be. Some familiarity when you're feeling a bit sick. So
Yeah,
completely agree. And I mean, I don't know if you could probably call it a cafe, but Jayco was always a favorite.
Oh my gosh, why was that not the first option? Jayco absolutely slapped.
Yeah, that's true.
The little free donut you get.
Yeah.
The froyo.
It's really good.
Yeah, when you get the sharing pack, but it's just for you, and you're like, because they give you 4 spoons, but it's like I'm eating this myself.
Yeah, exactly. And I guess Dunkin' Donuts we went to a lot just to study because free Wi-Fi and it was on Jackal.
Yes.
So, I
Yeah,
mean, the food was great, all the drinks, but
yeah,
just for the bit, I think.
yeah, you're looking at it as more of a convenience as opposed to a taste situation when it comes to that, unless you like traditional coffee.
I do like it. It's like when I went to Greece, I was like, I actually really like this black coffee. You know, we can really taste that flavor. It's really good.
Yeah, we're all always lining up for Frank's coffees, I think.
I have no idea about coffee. I don't drink any of
it. Oh yeah, Dina's a hot chocolate girl.
Cold or hot chocolate, that's me.
I really like when we do go back to Jogja one day. I really want to go to the coffee shop that was in Ada Apa Dengan Cinta number 2.
Yes,
the one that was
because I went to Jogja in the second
yeah they did
Ada Apa Dengan Cinta tour.
Yeah, lots of things to do and lots of places to visit in Indo. Oh, Mama Ning. Let's go to Sulawesi again. We can visit Kendari, Palu, Toraja, Gorontalo, and especially Selayar. Oh, Mama Ning, we're there. Mentally, I'm there. We're all there already.
I'm on my flight already. I'll see you there.
Surprise! Dina's actually heading there on Monday. I really, really hope we can head over soon. And for all our lovely friends and family and people watching Sanggar Lestari, thank you so much for your support. And especially when we go overseas to perform, we still see so many friendly faces. I think that's a whole part of it, the connection. And it's been so good. I'm just already mentally planning the next trip with you all. It's going to be so much fun. Yeah. On that note, I guess, a lot of people travel to Indonesia. Australia, as you know, are one of the, the biggest tourists, the country with the most tourists that travel over there. But as you were mentioning before, Laura, a lot of the people travel to Bali and stay cooped up in their hotel or in their villa, and unfortunately don't travel out. From the both of you, I guess, as your closing statement or your little closing message to leave with us, I guess, can you sort of tell us why, for people watching who may not have been explored out of Bali yet, why should they go to Jogja or to other places in Indonesia specifically? What will they find there, you know, and just why? Why do they need to do sort of what you did?
Oh my gosh, where to begin? There's a whole like country, and yeah, it's very incredible. It's very diverse. I don't think many Australians realize just how diverse Indonesia is. And every island and city that you visit, like there's new food, there's new like different language as well. The dialects change very quickly. But like everyone is just so friendly. Like it's so easy to travel, like particularly through I guess Java, and then if you do go to Sulawesi and other islands, like yeah, I think the friendliness it transcends through every corner of Indonesia. I mean, it does make it very easy to travel. People are so willing to help as well, and yeah, I don't know how to sum it up because like you could write a thesis. Like it's just I don't know how to encapsulate.
And you both probably will one day. We'll be the first to read it.
Yeah, it's just there's so much to see and do. I think people really underestimate like just how much there is to see, and also just like the size of Indonesia. Like the length of Indonesia itself is like the length of Europe. Like
Crazy.
you know, the places that you can see and like the ground that you can cover, like you could spend months in Indonesia alone. Like there's so much to see and do, and there's so many like different cultures within different islands to explore. Everything is so different. Like you can't just go to I don't know Bali and Jakarta and say like, oh yeah, I've seen Indonesia, I know what it's about. Like there's just like you're constantly learning. Like I've been, I think, to Indonesia now like 5 or 6 times, and there's still just so many places that I haven't seen. Like so many places to explore, so much food to try, so many people to meet, and places to perform. It's such a gift to know that it's like a lifelong like journey and relationship with the country. It's a constant thing. It's great.
So good, Laura. I agree.
No, I guess on Laura's point, there's more than 17,000 islands. Every island's so different, so many different languages to explore, food, culture. So I think you're really not doing yourself justice if you just go to Bali or just go to one place, because Indonesia is just so many countries in one almost. Like Laura said, I guess there's a common ground in that everyone's so friendly. Definitely make your way through their country without any trouble. But yeah, it's just, if you look at Indonesia like a book, if you just go to Bali, that's like the first page. It's like there's so much that you can explore, and it's just such a waste if you just don't go further and just. Yeah, I think
that's such a good way to put it.
I mean, like,
yeah, I like that.
And we've got Indonesian, and a lot of Indonesians I know who lived in Indonesia have not actually traveled as much as we have, and there's just so much to see. I think, yeah, it'd be such a waste. Life's too short not to keep exploring and learning.
Not to visit all 17,000 islands.
Yeah. So yeah.
No, that's a great message. And Dina and I are feeling very inspired to do a bit more traveling throughout Indonesia. I think Dina's mentally planned a whole trip to each island with Frank leading the way and meeting new friends.
Yeah, I mean, in the first 20 years of my life, all I've ever been to is Jogja and Bali. So I really need to travel and, see more of Indonesia, because especially like after hearing all of your stories, going to Makassar, after doing slam competition, like everything that we do along the way, I'm like, I need to go there. I need to go everywhere right now.
Yeah. We need a little scratch map just for Indonesia, I think.
Yes.
I only discovered places when you're in Melbourne over there. So
yeah.
It's always the way though. But I look forward to continuing to travel through Indonesia with you both and perform and have awkward moments, awkward, sweaty performances.
Selfies with random people on the street.
That's it. So many photos with random people that you don't know. It's all part of it. It's so much fun. Amazing. Oh gosh. Yes, watch this space. Hopefully there will be a Lestari tour coming up soon.
Fingers crossed.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Laura and Mira. You know, a lot of people have seen your friendly faces, but maybe not have had the opportunity to meet you or speak to you in person. So just a reminder, at Sanggar Lestari, we are incredibly inclusive and welcoming. And if you see us at an event, at a little Indonesian festival, or even walking on the street, come and say hello to us, because we're really friendly and we love Indonesian culture, and we thank you for supporting us. Come and have a chat to us, get to know us, dance with us, do a line dance, and eat Mama Ning's food. That's an important one too. But in the meantime, we'll have to meet up like this. But very soon it'll be exciting to get back into our routine.
Can't wait.
Oh my
Thank you so
goodness.
much for having us.
Yeah, thank you. And Yana, just you were saying before, yeah, it's being part of Sanggar Lestari is just like opened a world of like new opportunities in terms of getting to know the Indonesian community in Melbourne and learning some about Indonesia. Like Sanggar Lestari, like it is very inclusive, and we learn so many different dances, and like I'm learning so much about the culture of Indonesia and how rich and diverse it is, like all the time. So yeah, it's been really good.
Oh, great. And we're really great that you both crossed paths on your exchange those, what, 7, 8 years ago. Otherwise, we wouldn't be enjoying all of your representation in the media and your Friday night batik. So thank you once again for sharing those photos with Dina and myself, and for joining us on Lestari Live tonight.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Oh, I think it would not be fitting unless you said thank you in Javanese. Let's be real now, friends.
Oh, maturnuwun.
I don't know the response, Dina. I'm going to hand that to you.
I don't know.
Oh my God, where's Frank?
I don't know how to say things like formally.
What do you say to
Sami,
maturnuwun?
Sami Sami.
Is it Sami?
Sami Sami? Okay.
Yeah. And
But
thank you.
Podo would be like the slang.
Ah.
Yeah, very
Sami. No, and thank you to everyone who oh yeah, thanks Frank. Thank you so much. Thank you to Frank for his Javanese in the comments tonight. Everybody else for joining in, of course, Mama Ning and our friends from overseas, people in West Sumatra, people in Kendari, and all over Indonesia, as well as in Melbourne. Lestari Live doesn't work unless you are watching. So thank you so much for tuning in with us and being part of our conversation. Have a great night, and maturnuwun, as you said before, girls. And Sami Sami to you. Oh, maturnuwun, everybody. Thank you for joining us, and peace Lestari. See you later.
Peace Lestari. Bye.
Bye.